Hi guys, and welcome to the stream. Hopefully this is all working. So this is we're on the Iron Throne. We're running a tournament. I will go through some of the games in who's in the second. Nope. Nope. And I clicked off somehow. What did I? Didn't quite know what happened there. Let's try that again. Cool. Why is it doing this? Okay. 1 second. Let me just redo this. This is all going really well. Right. King. There we go. Cool. Okay, guys. So sorry about that. So we've got George playing Greyjoy Shot from the Shadows, which is why we came here, against Stark Crossing. This is interesting me. George is very good at building some very funky decks. So I just thought it'd be worth having a look-see. So I'm just setting up a couple of extra things, and there we go. And we are ready to go. So let's see what the setups are while I quickly get the text up in here, in case anyone wants to send any messages or chat or anything. So we've already got 2 cards in Shadows. This is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. So we've got a Bolton Flayer and Great John Umber, who's obviously very good at crossing. George saying not ideal. And then we have the I guess Maester Windermere, Lordsport Shipwright, and a Rose Road. While this is going on in the background, I will quickly try and get a link to the tournament so everyone have a look. And straight into March the Wall. That's interesting. I assume I want to get rid of that Bolton Flare. So we're going to assume this is probably a bit of a mini curve then. If he wants to get rid of the Bolton Flare. Just putting into the text the link to the tournament. So if anyone wants to follow on, they're more than welcome to. So we have the reducer put out. George choosing to go first as well. Obviously 1 less gold because of shadows. Assault from the Shadows. I just really want to know what Greyjoy is popping out of Shadows so much, because they've got that many good Shadows cards. Well, they've got some good Shadows cards, but not enough that you think, oh, they work really well with this agenda. Oh, you've got Hagen's Daughter, and you've got the army, the Nightmare Raiders, is it? Raiders from Pike, so potentially thinking there's going to be some pinch of powder shenanigans coming on. Probably not this turn, because there'll be too many. You'd think that he wouldn't be able to get the high enough strength through to win by that. Not about some raiding boats. And Pike. So that's an interesting. So is it West? Yes, West Pike. So it's an interesting start. No gold left for the Shadows. Any of the cards in Shadows. hello to everyone who is joining the stream. So this is kind of last minute thing we put together from there's one of our groups. We've got some pretty good players in the field though. So you've got obviously the current and as of last week, reigning Stalheck champion Wilco, who's in there. We've got some pretty good players from around the French community are taking part. So should be some quite good fun and shenanigans. So we've got George, who's quite renowned for being quite a good deck builder. So we should hopefully see some fun shenanigans from here. Hence why I say pick this game to first. We'll try and pick a different game each round. So last Heath playing there. So it's going to be quite good for us to get through the challenges, especially with Great Draw Number and his Intimidate. I would imagine George will try and do 3 challenges here because he's probably going to get intimidated down no matter what he does. With the potential of the Wildling Scout to do sacrifice and give stealth. So quite easy to do the intrigue of him first. Is there any start character? Yeah, any start character. Do that first and then he's probably fine with the other one. So I'd imagine George probably is going to do all 3 challenges here on the basis of this such strong Intimidate and also non-kneeling Intimidate. Shows how much I move my mouse. So I try to put the mouse out of the way when we're not watching anything. So indeed, George can do a military for 4. So potentially trying to burn up last Heath. Not sure it's going to do much. Probably just trying to make sure he gets it through. Can't just defend with 1 character. Was there any attacking start characters? I should double check. Anyone else has seen this? No, just participating. So he could be used on defense here. So you'd imagine probably the Umber Loyalist to defend, to get boosted, because you don't need him to attack back. He says, no idea you play for Shadows for 0 gold. Of course, you do have the... he said... I'm saying I have no idea what you play at Shadows for 0 gold, and George saying it's fine, don't worry about it. That could be a surprise raiding longship, I guess. That could be quite good fun here. Coming out of Shadows, it's one of the things with the Shadows agenda. There's just almost the fact that any card has Shadows can just and the fact he's going to be double shot, put Great Draw Number into this. Don't worry, Jess. I'm a bit busy. It's fine, Jess, okay? It's fine. You've got your other lights up there, you need to. Sorry about that, guys. So, I say, no messing around. Let's just... just going to go in there and say, with the group, so no sounds. Great Draw Number defends. Going in there with now going to be an unopposed power, and we have Rhymes with Meek played out of Shadows. After you win an unopposed challenge, draw 2 cards free instead if you play the event from Shadows. So quite so quite interesting. Not one I was expecting to see. Gets a nice full hand though now, but only reserve a 5. That's quite interesting. We have an entry coming in here from the Wildling Scout. Oh, what's been put on? Oh, and a pinch of powder has been put on. Imagine just trying to get that out of hand. So that's quite a good way of getting getting to your pinch of powders nice and quickly. And now the threat of pinch of powder is quite big. We've got I Am No One played on the Umber Loyalist, so we are going to get all 3 challenges off this turn. That's also quite a good card, because I believe that blanks your text box as well. At the end of the phase, the character loses and trait. Oh no, and traits. Okay, it doesn't blank your text box. I was wrong. But so we're going to get all three shadows. So we have from the military. You have the Iron Islands fishmongers killed. And then, obviously we're going to draw a card from each one of these as well because of insight. And then we've got the power challenge coming in, so that's 5-0 currently to. It's 5-0 currently. So we're currently sitting at 6-0, obviously, after dominance. So that's a pretty good first turn there from the start crossing player, presumes a strong position. Obviously, we've also got the poison coin to worry about, so that could be something to concern yourself coming with the shadows. Obviously, this is not something you'd expect to see. Greyjoy Salt from the Shadows, not a deck I expected to be commentating on. Just getting an update from one of the other games. Currently, Darren Hazelton is 6-11. His opponent hit 11 power on the first turn challenges going first because he only opening with Risen from the Sea. That's a hell of an opening. So on to the second plot phase here. What else do we have? What do we have on the other side? Just looks like an Arya Stark and a Hodor. One of the problems with the Iron Throne is you don't necessarily get the choice on your keywords, unfortunately. Sometimes you may not draw because you're at maximum hand size, but imagine this early on, it probably is worth doing. So you have wars to come into trade, not wars to come, sorry. What's it? Forced march into trading with the Pentoshi. So the Greyjoy player is choosing to go first, needing both the military icons, and going to have 7 gold to mess around with. So where trading can be dangerous because they'd only had 4 gold if it hadn't been for playing trading there, and you think there wouldn't be that much that's impactful that could hit the board. But with 7 gold, something pretty obviously, well, pretty much every character in the game is now an option. And with Great John Umber going in with the big military, needing out some more characters, this could be pretty. This could be a pretty brutal turn. We could definitely see. We could definitely see Paul putting himself in a position here to close the game, to pretty much close the game out next turn, or forcing George's hand on an early reset. I'll just go for quick stats. We've had 6 of these 8 houses that are represented. This is a 12-player tournament. The things we're missing are Baratheon and Night's Watch. So we have another Bolton Flare brought into play. And Nymeria brought into play. Very intimidating. Which he says was a misclick, so probably didn't want him on the Great Number, who has already got Intimidate. That's a lot of Intimidate. That's a lot of pressure this board's trying to put on you. I imagine potentially that was meant to go on the Bolton Flare to come and do an intrigue. To get another Intimidate off. Now, we'll see what George is going to put into play here. So he's got 10 gold to mess around with, obviously -1 because of Assault from the Shadows. I'm going to have a card put into Shadows. Obviously, could be any card. We don't know what it is. I might try to remind the players that in the next round they could play with their hand open, just so obviously I can see what their what the hand are, what the options have got. But in some respects, I also like playing the hands closed because at least then, because it kind of gives that surprise like you are playing. And George immediately finishes marshalling with 10 gold. Oh. Can't intimidate me in Shadows. That is very true. So basically, it looks like George is kind of just going to let him, kind of going to go, yep, sure, do what you want to my board state. And then whatever comes out of Shadows is going to do the business. Now, you'd also imagine what's going to be coming out of Shadows will probably be enough to trigger a pinch of powder as well. So, George is saying goes to look up the new Greyjoy character. What? Jess, go to bed and go to sleep, or you're not going to your party tomorrow. Sorry, guys. My daughter is being a bit of a pain. So I'm just going to look up the, what was it? Macquarie, is it? I'm rubbish with names, as I'm sure if any of you watched any of my streams before will be fully aware. What have we got here? So he is, the text says, and it's not on here yet. Fantastic. Oh, there he is. Okay. So Shadows 5. After McCann comes out with Shadows during a challenge, choose a defending character, place it on top of the owner's deck. Defending characters. So obviously not going to do anything here against this. Not going to do anything here at the moment because, as George points out, it's only defending characters. Potentially, though, I'm trying to think what could come out of Shadows. Cost would be strength 5 for a power challenge to be able to trigger, or an intrigue challenge maybe to be able to trigger pinch of powder. And if it is him, then he can obviously bounce the Bolton Flare who tries to oppose. So we have a Balon Greyjoy discarded from claim from the intrigue, and pulls up to 7 power. A military of 5 coming in from Greatjaw number. With an old bulls defend. Says definitely shouldn't have done that. I'm trying to work out why, because he gets a stand after this. So West Pikes is taken for claim, and Greatjaw number is stood, and obviously Ed then immediately nails Maester Winderbear. Good evening, Jester. How are you? And thanks, great. Good to be back. Obviously, say not play. I say not playing on this one, obviously. But it's good because otherwise you just see me playing and losing. So the unopposed power. So we're now obviously get the crossing power, 1 for unopposed, up to 10. So currently 10-0. So if you're betting that at the moment, you'd bet that there'd be the money. Your money would be on Pool to see this out. Interesting what's going to happen with the Wildling Scout. So Euron Crow's Eye enters the board from Shadows. This Shadows gender is crazy. And goes in for a power challenge of 6, which is currently going to be unopposed. So that's going to bounce Great Draw number. And a pinch of powder goes onto the Bolton Flayer. So that's about to be effectively 2 military claim power challenge. Both of them get bounced. You get the claim. There's anything yet. There's a King's Road in there to steal as well. So my milker. Oh, thank you. Yes. If anyone was aware, at lunchtime, lunchtime Thrones was Greyjoy Lannister Green site. And yes, I actually milled someone out. Which was thank you. Yeah, it was. I mean, it did help that they were kneeling my board every turn, so I couldn't gain power. So after that fun and games with Pinch of Powder, we're now looking at 9-4 to George, and sorry to Pool. And you'd say that the Greyjoy players possibly got the better board state now. That's gonna be a big tempo to get Great John out again, and it's even worth getting him out again because obviously you're at the point now where he stops being as useful because you only one more turn of him being good. But yeah, I do always like winning by mill because it's something that hasn't really been doable till now. So I can't take any credit for the deck. It wasn't my deck. So discarded from the Greyjoy. From the Greyjoy player, we've had a King's Road. Makes sense. You've just gained 1 for Euron Crow's Eye. And we've had Nymeria, Great John Umber, Summer, a Loyalist, and Eddard Stark discarded. Wow, that's a pretty big. And now we're going straight for Rise of the Kraken. Into trading, so a bit like last time, George needed the money to get his board state out. We've now got the opposite that Pool needs the money to get his board out. We've had the King's Road popped, you might as well, because you're going to hopefully get it back to Euron Crow's Eye, worst case scenario. Victarion hits the board. George, I think from George, we kind of need to see a scout ship here because at the moment Paul can defend the intrigue, so obviously we'll need to see what he's going to put out. But depending on Victarion can potentially kneel or not, that's going to make it a lot harder to get Pinch of Powder off without. Oh, they said they got Stealth and Windermere actually, haven't we? So potentially here you do a power challenge with Windermere and you're on Crow's Eye stealthing him. No, not enough because of that. This will be interesting when they end up going with Victarion and going all in on the we're going to intimidate you out. Obviously, still got to see what's in Shadows, so that could also make a difference. So no gold on the Stark side. So we've got pretty good character. He's also immune, well not immune, but he's at least got a save against being pushed off the board and can stand. So is this going to be a massive power challenge? Not massive, actually. Expecting a bit more. I think George might be trying to give up on the idea of getting pinch of powder off. Unless he's trying to get him to expunge all the tricks now. So currently winning by 4, which obviously won't be enough to trigger pinch of powder. Throwing axe. Oh, is that from Shadows as well? From Shadows. So this got throwing axes and pinch of powders in. Nice. So that Umber Loyalist is about to get a throwing axe to the face. Which is also going to cause him to discard 2 cards. Wow, that's pretty brutal. And a Winter is coming, and a Catelyn Stark is taken for claim. Wow. Obviously gets to draw another card because the character was killed. And George gains 2 power and intimidates out the Bolton Flayer. So you possibly imagine now you go in for the military, because you almost might as well get that board state right down. Indeed he is. Now I imagine the temptation here is going to be to keep the Bolton Flayer alive, because it allows you to kill that Raider from Pike in the second, who's causing a lot of issues. Of course, it's 2 claim, isn't it? I forgot it was 2 claim. That's also 2 power for unopposed. That's pretty brutal. I think Paul might be in trouble here, and so he takes the Bolton Flare and the dupe off Wyman. Wow. I guess you go in for the intrigue now because you might as well. And yes, he is. So this can be defended. Wyman and the last Heath could defend this. Obviously, you don't know exactly what all the cards are in Shadows. There could be something that allows him to win this. I'm not wrong. So the pinch of powder has gone on. Last Heath, yep, is going to boost him to 8. So currently he's winning. And he's 1. Okay. Is that only on the attack? Yeah, the attacking player. So we're going to just have the Wildling Scout come back, unless there's any shenanigans coming from Shadows. With 1 gold, I very much doubt it. And Wyman sacrifices the Wildling Scout. Okay, so he's completely relying on there being no March left in this deck. And puts the Swords card for the claim. Superior claim coming in, so 12 to 8 at the moment. It's going to be 12 to 9. This is going to be a tight one. Can Paul still eat this out? So 12 to 9. You imagine this potentially going to be the last turn. There is enough, I think, for George to be able to see this out. Both of them now below reserve. There's the only 3 cards in George's hand, but obviously he does also have the 2 cards from 2 cards in Shadows. That's a pretty brutal turn. There's another March coming then. I think it's basically game. And George picked that pretty quickly. So, okay, I'm going to have to read what this is. This is Bloody Flux. Characters can't be saved into a Clash of Kings. So, I think George basically just went for the highest possible initiative, but unfortunately lost out for him. And Clash of Kings. Is that going to be enough to see this through? It all depends. What can Paul get out to be able to try and get through this? That superior claim was quite clutch, and an Ire start is not a bad start. Especially he's got another I am no one in hand. He's drawn a lot of cards, so there's a good chance he might do. If he can win that third challenge, which is a power challenge, he's won the game. Don't know how much George can do, but unless he's got any more shenanigans, which will be the main thing we'll see. Right, thinking. So Paul just thinking. George is always just say no problem. So we've got Sansa brought into play, and that leaves 1 gold. I imagine that's I am no one. So another card put into shadows, a Theon Greyjoy. And does he leave it there? Another card in shadow, so he can sit on 4 gold, I imagine. There's got to be some sort of shenanigans coming out of shadows. It's an interesting agenda because it got on. Is it worth putting like your normal cards into shadows, just not to have them in hand so they can't be intrigued out? I'm not 100% sure yet. The fact there's 3 people playing Assault from the Shadows this week in this event, though, that's 25% of the field, does make me wonder. So an intrigue for 1. It's quite clever, I guess, because you're almost forcing George to have to defend. Can you let them have that? Can you let them have that? So the power can, if it's just Windermere, the power coming for strength 10, at which point the 2 main guys can defend this. I think you have to let this go unopposed. You then use whichever one out of Theon and the Raider from Pike doesn't get stealthed, you use to block the military, potentially killing one of them. Potentially, I guess. And then you can defend the power challenge. I think that's the play. Yeah, and George is not going to defend the challenge. Obviously, we don't know what's coming out of Shadow, so there could be like a Hagen's Daughter, and that could be quite good to come in and block the military. And a pinch of powder has been discarded for claim. So doing power now. That is interesting. So still can only get to 10, but obviously can stealth one of the big guys. And would be George can only defend for 9 unless we're missing something. So 7, but it's going to be 10 because you've got the last heath. So if George can't defend this, it is game. And coming out of shadows, we have the Neophyte Apprentice, who's going to pay 1 gold to treat the box as if it was blank. Oh, action, Neelim will pay 1 gold, and then Theon, or anyone you want, actually, Windermere can come in and defend this. Oh, no, he's just going to fully defend it. Oh, he didn't need to, did he? I do believe like that. Pay 1 gold to choose a plot until the end of the phase. Treat this box. Yeah, he could have. He didn't need to fully defend that. I guess he probably didn't want him to win the power. Maybe he was worried about another superior claim and figured I might as well go in and fully defend this then. And that is it. That is all the challenges finished. And I think we're going to see some trouble here now. So obviously your characters can't be saved on this turn because of bloody flux. So you get 1 military, you get 1 power for your unopposed. Muscular character, probably going to be Sansa. Yep, indeed, because she's basically going to be pointless once another character is dead anyway. That does. Ooh, should he done the power? Should he done the intrigue first? Because that sounds way. No. That sounded Wyman. So yeah, I think he probably should have done the power challenge first and got rid of Wyman, then done the military. I think that was a misplay, unfortunately, George. Okay. So 15 minutes left on the round. George can't win a challenge now. And just goes to win Dom. So it's currently sitting at 12-13. So imagine both players are going to play the highest initiative plot they've got and try and see this out. Okay. Oh, you're going to see a reset from Paul, maybe? Maybe win or you die. That's the question there from Paul. I wonder if that's his next plot, win or you die. And Paul's just saying he thinks he has to assume it is you win or you die. And it's definitely not win you die. Summer Harvest into Forced March. And oh, interesting. So Paul is going to make George near the second character here. So the last heath is less useful now. So I'm just getting some more results in. Okay. So we've got a... Oh, okay. So that's Northern Armory. So that's probably going to be quite big here. Still on a card in Shadows, but only 1 gold. So you imagine that's probably Mirror? And indeed it is. And she's going to come out and milk. So, just obviously George put another raid from Pike out and still sitting on a lot of gold. So mirror can be. So we've got the Northern Armory can be used to stand Aya. And then make Euron Crow's Eyes text box blank. And still check what's that. And then bodyguards been put on. Wyman. Did miss that. Do apologise, guys. Part of the fun of commentating and trying to run the event. So we're going to have a strength 0 intrigue, but obviously this could be strength 2. So potentially does need to be blocked in some way, shape, or form. Obviously, there's a card that could come out of shadows potentially and block this. And indeed there is. There goes Old Bones. So I think he's just going to come in and defend this. Just stop the unopposed. Now, if Paul really wants to, he can. Indeed, that is the case. If Paul really wants to, he can obviously boost this, but I don't think he will. I think he'll save the boost. Because you just get one card out of hand. I mean, you could potentially think it's pinch of poison, pinch of powder, sorry. I think Paul's considering how much he really wants to see what that card is. Now, imagine you're obviously going to stand one of these, probably Arya Stark. So then do a military stealthing someone to then try and get the power for it, or come in and try and stealth through the power. So we're not. Okay, interesting. And so that's going to be fully opposed with Euron Crow's Eye and Maester Windermere. So we had the intrigue. So now we could use. Now obviously Paul can use the Northern Army to stand Aya. Indeed, he is. And that message comes in. You imagine going to stealth. Oh, actually, no. I think I think you stealth you stealth the Raider from Pike, because this way, if he defends with Victarion, then you can use the Northern Armory, the last thief to win. So it's gonna boost the strength, so kills the Raider from Pike because you've got the one in play. But Surely now the unopposed power and then the unopposed military wins the game. Oh no, I guess not, because you can sacrifice. I guess you sacrifice one of them to stand the other one. So military coming in for 2. Again going for the military. So I guess that makes sense, because if you because you can't now sacrifice mirror. And he's saying I assume you have Markway low. So that goes unopposed. So now that gets George up to 13 power. And I was a bit worried. I think as far as I was being worried, I was worried that this might be the game that places Jackal for Nat. Ah, Drangor Fanatic to stop Wayman from standing. Right, fantastic. And now we've got the infantry coming in, and then the power. So you can only defend one of these, and that is, I believe, Game George, because he'll win on Dom if he does block one of these, and that is GG. And there we go. So that is that game. So well done there to George. Bad luck to Paul. And yes, I'm just going to put some results in and get the next round set up, and then we'll be right back. Hi guys, and we're back. So we're going to watch the game between Sten and Shigu. I'm going to really butcher his pronunciation, so I'm really watching this back later. I'm really going to apologise. So it's Greyjoy Lord of the Crossing versus Martell House of the Red Door. Mainly because these are two people I've not really seen play much, and hopefully we're going to... That's them. I'm really bad at names. Ooh. That was the timer for round 1. And why is it all let me in? Iron Throne's being fun today. There we go. So the interesting. So the Red Door location is Hellholt, which is after you challenged by 5 or more, gain 1 power. Ooh. So a pretty good opener there from Sten. So you've got 2 reducers, the reducer location. I'm imagining there's pinch of powder in here. Munich meta power. Then obviously you've got this to be able to nil things, so you want to be going first. And we have the nothing burns like the cold opener. So that's going to be hitting the Bone Way. You assume there that he just didn't want that double power buff there, because win a power every time you gain a power every time you lose a challenge by 5 or more, plus the plus obviously gain a power every time you lose a challenge or gain a token, and after 6 need it to gain a power. That'd be pretty solid. It's a pretty solid open there. Interestingly, Doran's behest into exchange information at this stage. That's interesting. So she's going first. He's only got 4 gold here. So you've got fiefdoms, secret schemes, potentially given the Vengeance for Ilia, the ILC Diamond, Princess Plan, Ricasso, another fiefdoms. Does not Dawn, and the Greenblood Trader. So not many. Not much in the way of. So where do you go? Ricasso, secret schemes, and the JT Diamond. So that's an interesting choice there. You imagine the first thing that's going to happen here is that you nail the Lord's Bullshit right to nail out the Dornish fiefdom, and that then obviously neutering the gold even more. The choke is on. Oh no, of course, because you made him go first. So sorry, my bad. I'm getting a bit excited there. So 4 gold. This could be either very long or very quick. So Bastard Daughter and the JT Diamond put out. And that is it. And we've also got Greyjoy Crossing here. So you'd imagine just going to go hammer for it. Lots of weak characters. So this leads me to think he wasn't that worried about placing Targaryen. Because currently Targaryen would mint this board if they've got Blood of the Dragon in there, or even there like New Dany, her burn effects, just killing a character until you burn another character. If this game does end quickly, we may go look to join another game. Anyone who's just joining us, so this is an impromptu tournament that we've run for one of the Facebook groups. So this is we've got some pretty good players on here. We've got the current Stalheck champion, although he did lose in the first round to Martin. We've just got Martin Lewis, who you might have seen. He's on the Facebook groups a lot. Absolutely loves this game. The guy's a great ambassador for the game. So it's just got Core Asher. So this is. I've been thinking about her a lot more, actually. I think she's got a really good place in the meta right now. Oh, and a steam stone chair. This could get brutal quickly. So the sensible thing I think here would be you do the military and powers with first two challenges, so that, and then you do the intrigue with the Lord's Port Shipwright, so that way you're not winning by 5. So went to do military challenge and cancelled it. At this point, all you're really doing there is giving them a power, and yes, indeed, he has now decided not to do a challenge. So although the Bastard Daughter probably isn't going to stop the unopposed, there's no point rushing in there, just giving them a power for no reason to steal and speeding up the game plan even more. Nothing Burns Like the Cold Opener was a pretty good and solid opener. That card's got even better and worse in some respects because of the new non-limited econ locations. So obviously it's better because you can hit them early, getting rid of some econ, but also it's worse because there's more characters that you can, there's more options they can get rid of rather than getting rid of the location you really want them to get rid of. So we've got Asher coming in, stealthing the Bastard Daughter, of course. So it's going to be a win, the reaction is going to stand her, and the Bastard Daughter is going to be killed. So forgot to do the trigger. Oh, I'm over card in shadows, I missed that. And it's asking for the trigger, which is fine. To discard. Ooh, look, this is a really interesting build. Discards Venomous Six Skins. I potentially want. I might have to message and say, what is this build? I want to give it a go. This looks fun. And, okay, he's going to do the intrigue now. So I'd thought you do the power with the reducer, of course, not with Asher, because again you don't want to win by 5. So I'm assuming that is a power to this, not to... Yeah, that gains a power. We have a... What the hell are these decks? We have a Tarnished Paramour. All these cards we've not seen since Core. I don't want to insultingly say it sounds like we're in the middle of Thanksgiving, but it kind of started to feel like that. And then they have the Reducer coming in for a power challenge. So that will be the unopposed and the crossing power. So Sten will end the turn on 5 power because he's going to win dominance. You imagine you're going to see a reset now coming in from the Martel player. That probably would be the case. So we've got the going in for the round 2 plots, so they're currently 5-0 to Greyjoy. We have Valor into Marched. So I think that was probably seeing that potentially was going to be a Valor coming along here, so trying to get rid of the characters now. The downside to this being that you have to choose to go first to trigger the march first, which then means obviously you're giving more gold. Oh no, he's allowing. So he's allowing the Valor to go off. That's interesting. That's really interesting. And of course, I also put to the sword discarded for reserve and Beggar's Robes. This is some really interesting decks. I guess you've got put to the sword, you've got Cecil and Chair, you're going for ultra kill. Again, by choosing to go first, you are reducing the amount of gold that can be on there. 2 gold less, so now you have got to be worried about Vengeance for Elia. Interesting to see what Sten can get out with only 5 gold effectively with the reducer location. Okay, so we have a Lordsport Shipwright, and I did wonder we might see Aaron Dampere, because you did certainly think he let Asher die far too easily. So obviously now potentially you're going to get Asher back from the dead pile. There's a good potential here for just passing challenges, going straight to Dom. Not wanting to hit any tricks, not wanting to hit any. Wanting to make sure you win Dom, so currently it's 2 gold. Obviously no gold, so if he does any challenges, and the Lordsport Shipwright's not strong enough to win a challenge by himself. So does make you think maybe there's just going to be no challenges this turn, wins Dom, goes 6-0 up and gets Asher back and has a stronger board state. And indeed that is the case. So right now you'd say your money's got to be on Sten with Greyjoy to win here. What's Dom like? Oh, no one sacrificed to choose a non-limited occasion, pretty much 3 or lower, and it's got a different play. So interestingly, hasn't worried about doing this with getting rid of that Seastone chair. For reserve, you have the Prince's Plan, Secret Schemes, and the Iron Throne. So this is looking very, very location heavy. So we have, oh dear, Varys' Riddle hitting trade routes. So Varys' Riddle's just got is basically super trade routes now, and again making the Martell player go first. So he just restricting that gold, seeing what he's going to do. We've got Ocasso with a load of money in a dupe. So now you imagine there's going to be some strength shenanigans here. Secret Schemes play to draw 5 cards, because now obviously the reserve counts as being 5. Oh, sorry, use spots counts as being 5. With Dawn of Achievements, it's got 6 gold, so. And I got a Rose Red, what you can see, a Core Viper, Radishirt's Raider, interesting. 2 gold left. I imagine that's probably the Nightmare Marauders, maybe, or it could be Hagen's Daughter. Although this is all really low cost, so I don't know what you would name at the moment. This seems like a really low curve deck, in all fairness. We have an Acolyte of the Waves. This also seems both of these decks seem really low curve. Especially what we used to seeing out of Greyjoy recently. Mini Theon. Another card into Shadows. Hager's Dawn to put into play rather than brought out shadows. Interesting. Now, also, although the card text does say return her to shadows as the interrupt, there has been ruled that she doesn't have to come out of shadows to be returned to shadows. So you can still go to shadows as the kill effect. One of those cards in shadows are now. You would imagine probably maybe saying that one of them is Pinch of Powder, as he's got the Rattleshirts Raiders there. So I wonder if anyway winning a power challenge by enough to put it on him, get rid of the dupe, and then kill him with Seastone Chair. And no challenges from the Martell player. So it's going to go straight to the power challenge. And indeed, that does look like it might be the case here. Because it's a power challenge for 5. Which is, funny enough, just enough to pop a Pinch of Powder. Now there's one Ironborn character still in the discard pile. Dead pile, sorry, so there could be a trigger, though I don't know if you're really going to worry about winning Dom just to bring back a Lordsport Shipwright. And then indeed a Pinch of Powder comes in for 1 gold from Shadows. So that is what one of the cards was. Because the Raiders from back are not Ironborn, they've just got the Raider trait. And so I think this is you're going to get rid of his dupe, and then you're going to Seastone Chair him next turn. That's the next challenge. And then get the unopposed intrigue. And I think this is probably. It's looking like it's going to be game at this point. Sorry. Indeed, there goes the Duper Ricasso. Oh, no, actually can't Seastone Chair him now, can he? Because he has an attachment. And also that does say no attachment. Right, actually probably should have done the military first there. Could he got enough strength for the military? He could have done the military first, taken off the dupe, and then got in with a Pinch of Powder. But then I think he probably wants some. Oh, no, you still got return to hand, aren't you? Interesting. Also, now we do have the powder on Hellholt. Not defend the challenge. You going to bother your Seastone Chair? Probably not. And the Rattleshirts Raiders killed for claim. So the strength 3 entry coming in from the Lordsport Shipwright, which then get 9 power. And then Dominance will take Sten up to 10. And the Lordsport Ship was confirmed the discard pile. Prince of Pan discarded for reserve, which makes sense because you can get that card back. And yeah, I don't think there's much more to say about this game. So you're 10-1 up. Probably Rise the Kraken's going to be the next plot. And indeed it is. Into Valida Harris, which isn't going to have a massive impact. Who do you keep? You're going to keep Ash. You're going to keep probably Theon. And imagine one of the Lordsport shipwrights. And again, let's I thought this turn he would have gone first, but no, let's the opponent go first again. Now, I always have found Rise of the Kraken is potentially the best plot and one of the worst plots because obviously it's a good strong closer, but the amount of times that 2 gold has completely crippled me. When this could be, I know you can say we don't get as much power for the unopposed. I get that, but this could easily be like you win or you die. You get 5 gold and you get 2 cards. Oh, interesting. So let Theon get discarded. So we've got 6 gold. So Martop has now 8 gold. So we're going to see a comeback. This is potentially where. Come on, so you can stop him. Jester, can you help me phonetically pronounce his name, by the way? Shawog? Shawog. That's not it. I know that's not it. We have the Bastard of God's Grace. A milk can go on Asher. This could be the turning point. This is where I say this is where I find this is I call this a win more plot. I do not think it's a particularly great plot. Sure. And then we got a. So that's still worrying. Only 2 characters have gone out. And there's still 2 claim plots, and there's still potential good shenanigans to come in from here. There's no gold less. You can't be. We could be bluffing it somehow. And you can't be bluffing Vengeance really. I would have thought. So we've got a nil. To get a sea bitch. So only now needs to get to 14 power because you can sea bitch to steal the Hellholt and win the game. Because that does, I believe, get round the requirement on this. Locations can't be discarded from play by card effects, and that's not being discarded from play. That is being, and that's just swapping sides, so that does get around it. And again, just putting in the chat in case anyone wants to follow this from Justin Fillion. Obviously, watching this back later on YouTube is not going to help you. But I'll probably have the Jousting Pavilion results in the description below. So the military coming in from the Bastard of God's Grace. Oh, so what do you choose now? Choose now the JC Diamond. Because of the dominance actions, obviously that would potentially go first. If we get to dominance, does not defend the challenge, giving him a power to steal. What's the plan here? There's got to be some sort of plan. Chaig. Chaig? That Chaig can't be right. Chaig. I'm so bad at it. I do apologise, guys. I'm so bad at it. It smells Chaig. Chaig. Chaig? Is that right, Chester? I do. Okay, so the challenges are finished there. So now we're going to have an unopposed military, which is going to get to 12 for the unopposed. And then unopposed power. So the unopposed, so the military comes in. No, so I actually helped him much. No, what? Dragon Fanatic in their pile. Places Dragon Fanatic. Oh, of course. So he was going to discard the power of that to get vengeance for Elia. But the Dragon Fanatic, I get that now. Right, I get the play now. But the Dragon Fanatic comes in to stop that. So now it doesn't have the gold for the... Right, now it all makes sense. Chaig. 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 Yeah, we'll go with that. I'm sure that's sort of offensive. This is game at this point because that's now both those characters dead. The unopposed power is going to come in, and that will be two for unopposed and 1 for claim. And Sten, whose name I can definitely pronounce, has picked up the win. It's more victory for them. Lost to George Anchors. I was going to do the intrigue with the Dragon Fanatic just to rub it in. Well, probably not to rub it in, probably actually try and get rid of some stuff. So that is, let me Sten, George Anchors. And then is he going to use Seabitch to steal Hellholt to win? That would be hilarious. Last of the Giants. What's this bringing in? A Jeganagar. No, he did it. Okay. And there we go. The Hellholt stolen with Seabitch for the win. And that was well played. Well played. Well played. So there we go. So Sten's won that. How long have we got left on the round? We've got 20 minutes. I'll just have a quick look to see if we can jump into another game. Let's see how Darren's getting on, because that always makes me laugh. Here we go. Apparently Iron Throne's not liking passwords today. Wow, what is this board state? What is this board state? So, how do we even try to begin what's going on here? So, you've got a ridiculous strength of Sansa. Doesn't look like there's much military going on. Wyman. Waiting on plot 3. Okay. They've both basically put everything into play. Yeah. You're right, channel. What is this board state? Okay, Martin Lewis, the defeater of Stalheck, the Stalheck champion, has gone down. So, well, I remember a bit. So, oh no, wrong one. There we go. Okay, with everything to play, and then he stealthed everything. Hurry. Time limit. And the problem is when the boards get this wide, it becomes so hard to actually get a challenge through. So we're going to take the 5-2. Oh god, with this plot out as well. Is Mirror out? No. So how come he's not standing? Oh, probably because of that, I imagine. Wow, this is just a bonkers board state. I'm about to move the text. Text is good. Currently, the only card's being missed. So with the chat, guys, the only card you're missing is there's a Scheming Septon on the end. Darren over defending there and being mercilessly laughed at. So I didn't need to remember 2. I know she plot. And there comes. So here comes a Mirror Read. Who's she gonna blank? Oh, so potentially Mirror's already come in and blanked a couple of characters, hence why he's not standing. So I'm going to stand blank Marge. So let's give them an update. It's 18 minutes left and Darren's complaining his opponent's stalling. Scheming Septon goes back to the top of the deck, which then obviously would trigger the Old Town to gain a power. It's just a crazy board state. There's actually some pretty key characters still missing on the Stark side, less so on the Tyrell side. So big military coming in. Well, you know, big military, really, is it? Branders has come to have a look as well. This is going to be. I don't know where to begin commentating on this. There's a massive power challenge for 21, defended for 2. Obviously, still got challenges to go back. So this reminds me of what if you want to go back, it's one very many years ago on the channel where I had to do commentate on the UK Nationals 2016, and you had Ryan, who ended up winning it. He was playing a he was playing a what was it, Stark Big Guys deck, where literally he was just putting down everything. So all the big plots. He had like is it? I can't remember which one it is now. Marching orders, I believe, the 9 gold one. You can't put locations into play. You have 2 of those. Just lots of Stark Big Guys. And every time you killed some, you just reflooded the board. And in some of the games, the maths would come like this, where you'd have 10 characters aside. You add up and go military for 40, and then the opponent would add up and go, cool, you beat me by 2, defend for 2. And then obviously would count back. Every turn was the same thing. It was bonkers. So currently at 10-3, 10-3 here to Paul. You'd imagine Paul's probably got this, but how do you know? So both players have used 3 plots, by the looks of it. Yes, both players have used 3 plots. So at this point, you start running out of stuff to put in with Banter Bridge. Everyone doesn't know Banter Bridge. It's a bit of bridge encampment. It was called Banter Bridge because a while ago it wasn't very good. It's a bit banter to use it. That's changed a bit. It's now pretty good. So I pulled there just using in taxation to sacrifice a card. Sacrifice a card and put Mirror Read back into Shadows. And Mirror Read again is going to. So it's going to use what I'm to get rid. There must be a reset coming then. Maybe Wildfire? No, you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't break up. You wouldn't break up. Too many good combos here. Too many good cards, I think, for that. So we have, yeah, indeed we have wildfire into first snow of winter. So that's interesting. So what are you keeping there? Are you killing? It seems weird. Okay, so I believe this is the only game we're now waiting on. It is. And now we've got to think about who the deuce is going to die. That might be a mistake, actually, unless you're thinking all the lords are out, because you keep Renly, Brienne. Oh, actually, no, you've got to kill one of the big four. And Darren's getting a bit salty. Darren's complaining about time management in this game. On the upside now, at least the characters aren't underneath the text on the screen. So saying intimidation's good. And Darren's conceding and has left the game. Okay. Okay, well guys, I'm just going to take a quick break there. And Darren is dropping. 1 second. Be back in a minute while I sort all this. I'm back, guys. So we've sorted out the issues of player dropping, and we're going to watch the potential King of Swiss game. So it depends. So technically, George. So a couple of moments. So we've got three people on. Three people on 2 wins. So see if George loses the next round, though, then we don't need to. George just loses, then the winner of this game will be the overall winner. If George wins, then we might have to have a 4th deciding game. So we've got Martel Alliance, which is Greyjoy Baratheon. And obviously we know Sten. We watched that the last game. So yeah, it's quite a bit of fun there with the having to sort out all that and people offering to drop and all that. But we sorted it out in the end. So buck up, potentially the last round of Swiss. So let's only have 4 cards each. And we have so we've got Dawn, the Water Gardens, and Gates of the Moon with the Bastard Daughter, with against 6 skins, Acolyte of the Wave, a Reducer, and a Rose Road. So 2 very interesting starts there. So you've got one good one with character setup. You get lots of challenges through. Also 6 skins, you can get all you can basically have the icon you want. And then against that, you've got the most locations you'd really want, and also the Bastard Daughter, who can be a right pain in the backside. It'd be interesting to see here. So if there's an Asher in hand, I have heard that potentially this happened in game 1 with Sten. You open up. No, he hasn't. Oh, okay, quite a good one too. So he opened up with Birth and Burns at the Cold, same as last time. So I know in game 1 he opened up with what was the plot? Brain kick in. Rise of the Kraken, and just got 11 power to first round, and that basically saw him out. We've got exchange information, so this keeps being an interesting opener from these Martel players, going straight into exchange of information. You've got Lingering Venom, Orphan, another Orphan, Acolyte of the Wave, Bastard Daughter, Daughter of Fiefdoms, Green Trader, and another Lingering Venom. So there's going to be one Lingering Venom here. And obviously what that goes on, has he no attachments? He has not no attachments. Obviously potentially less good against Greyjoy, because there is always the option of We Do Not Say, which is Acolyte of the Waves, the Rose Road, and the Lingering Venom, because he had to. So the Rose Road goes straight out. You get one of the Greyjoy reducers, interesting. Dawn gets a dupe, which obviously that's quite good considering that the 75 cards in this deck. But also very good with Greyjoy matchup, as we already talked about with the brain kicking. We Do Not Say. And we have a Drown God Fanatic straight out to stop the Queen's Men. So not when his hand looked at, and a card discarded. So it's a very good include in this, because most of the cards you're going to have are going to be non-Baratheon, which is one of the requirements that you have to kneel. a Theon Greyjoy out. Obviously, at the moment, actually has two characters that can. All three characters actually can actually oppose him at the moment. Have a card put into Shadows. I think we all kind of probably know what that is. And we'll see what Six Skins does here. No challenges from the Martell player. Probably doesn't. Probably not last time. Probably doesn't want to give a power away. So it'd be interesting to see how much Sten goes in for this, because 2 gold left. That's an interesting amount. I've still got a card in Shadows. Probably gonna be strength 1 power challenge here. Yeah. Strength 1 power challenge. Has he got stealth now? No, he's insight. Okay. Stops the opposed. I guess he might as well stop the opposed. Stop the unopposed. And then intrigue and then military. So yeah, intrigue coming in from 6 skins. So this would draw a card. Doesn't seem to be worried about any his Viper's Eyes, which is something I sometimes am worried about in turn 1 against Martell until I can get it set up properly. It's a nice card draw because of the insight. It's going to be a slower start here from Sten than last time. I'm potentially about to lose a card. So it's only going to be 1-0, 2-0 because of 2-0 because of Dom. Oh, okay. Chooses not to kill the bastard daughter. I guess he's gone basically discarding anyway. Let him discard cards he has to then discard, rather than killing the bastard daughter and getting a random one. Well, it might be one of the cards he was going to discard anyway. So both boards, bar 6 skins, are pretty old low-cost characters. A Risen and a Balon. That is interesting. This hand must be stacked. Unless he's worried about constant resets and just wants to have decent characters in hand. Rise of the Kraken into building orders. I did say he does rise early. Chosen to go first as well. Got 3 gold, so 4 gold, effectively 5 gold, effectively, well, 5 rough reductions with the Fishmonger. What are we going to see? Think we're going to see here? Stealth and power, maybe? Because you can get the intrigue icon by using the Drowned God Fanatic to kill one of the characters. Puts a card into Shadows and finishes. So got 7 gold. Dawn of Shooting comes out. Oh, what did he pick the building order? Did I completely miss that? Dornish Fiefdoms, okay. Got the Lingering Venom onto Sixskins. Green Flutter and the Shadow City Bastard. So that's why I potentially think this might have been a bit early. And we've got a painted table, so that's what we're seeing coming from the Baratheon side. Now, I'd be interested to see if there's another Vince in hand to stop that. Both these boards are very low curve, which is say interesting. So we've got Sixskins going straight in for an entry challenge for 2. I'm interested if both these choose to defend, or it would just be the Green Blood Trader. Oh, sorry, it's going to be the Shadow City Bastard. So obviously going to draw a card with Dawn, then obviously just have to discard. And Lingering Venom hits. Doesn't reduce strength, does it? No, until strength is equal to. Spins any character, can kill any character, can't he? Yeah, any character. So in theory, Vince could come in and kill Sixskins when he's about to die. It's just an action as well. It's not even a challenge action. So we've got power coming in from Theon. Now this could be not double opposed. So that's getting interesting. 2 claim when there's no power to steal. Kraken's Grasp to remove the strength of the Acolyte of the Wave, so there's going to get at least the 2 for the unopposed. So up to 4 power now. And obviously 2 cards discarded from. Well, this is really interesting. This has got some really interesting cards in. I love seeing these builds of stuff. It's just like wow, you just don't see some of these cards. This is on a Misty Morn is a card that I have had some thoughts with. Oh, and I lost the Giants, Jeg and Hagar. Okay then. Not how I thought this turn was going. So this is going to come in from military. Obviously can't use the Jeg and Hagar tokens. There's no unique characters. I believe that is a requirement of this card. Yes, unique characters. But it's still going to come in, kill 2 people, gain the crossing bonus. Another Kraken's Grasp for the unopposed? No. Lingering Venom kills Sixskins. Dawn draws another card. Acolyte of the Wave and the Bastard Daughter can take him as claim. So that might be why it's worked. We might be worth doing that in the second challenge. So you actually had something to steal with the power if you chose to kill the Acolyte of the Wave. And Asher Asher discarded because of the Bastard Daughter. So we have a 1 strength entry coming in. This could be where you use the Acolyte of the Wave to come in and kill him, stand and defend the challenge. Or use of course, use Jeg and Hagar because he's going to die anyway. And he's going to oppose that. And then the military comes in. I assume you kill the Acolyte of the Wave for the military, if they do the military at all. Wins Dom either way, most likely. Or tie Dom if you don't. No, it's going to take Dom. Of course, got the painted table. Why risk going in there? And there's 2 power compared to 1. So seeing a 4-3, so that's an interesting turn of events. They're now very much down to cheap characters. And we have Varus's Riddle into trade routes. So once again, Sten able to hit the so you once again have the so brain kick in. Sorry guys, there's messages coming in from the players. So once again, he's able to hit Varus's Riddle into trade routes to get a lot of money. It'll be interesting what he actually managed to do with this money this time. Queen's been to look at the hand. No Vince, by the looks of it. So this is going to discard a Risen. So potentially looking at a reset here coming up soon. Or worried about reset at least, I should say. So we have the reduced for out 13 gold, not bad to put some stuff into play. Raiders from Pike. Also, and it's potentially our pincher powders. Aaron Damper. Currently, no characters you can actually bring in from the dead pile. Power challenge for 1 from the Island Fishmonger. So it chooses to defend with Aaron Damper. That's interesting. Makes me think these potentially aren't pinches, because that could be quite a good card to get through the pinch of powder through. Intrigue coming in from the Green Blood Trader is going to be undefended, so that's going to be an unopposed power and a Kingsrow taken for claim. Keeping a good icon spread, so the chances are the Shadow City Bastard can't just take a card too easily. There we have the military coming in, having to kill one character. Probably, yeah, so he's been the Drown God Fanatic here. Because you can always bring him back from the dead pile. I'm assuming he's not Ironborn. He is not. He's Drown God. So, power challenge for 1. Obviously, this can be fully defended because you do have 2 strength 1 characters, which indeed he's going to do. Military coming from Raider from Pike. Again, this could be fully defended, but I don't think he does. Yeah, I think. Oh, there's no point killing the Bastard Daughter, is there? Because there is no characters to. There's no cards to discard from hand. And he's used to kill the Green Blood Trader. So 10 gold, anything that can do, could bring the Drown God Fanatic into play to try and get the intrigue through. The Bastard, also the Shadow City Bastard just come in, they block that though. No, he's going to win Dom. There's no one in that discard pile to bring back those, so we're currently sitting at 5-4. No cards in hand. And we've got you win or you die into Valor Maguris, so that's going to completely wipe the board. Should have selected Valor to go first, because now you'll lose a card. It was only a Rose Raid though, so I don't think he probably minds too much. Both boards wiped. 6 for both of them gain a power, 1 power, I believe, from the Acolytes of the Wave dying. Yes, they do. So we're sitting at 6-5, and Stem to go first. Nails the Sea Tower. Get a Rose Road out, so he had drawn 2 Rose Roads. And we've got Balon Greyjoy and cards into Shadows. Potentially, I think there might be a March next, and this point, this game could be pretty one-sided. There's a Lingering Venom put on. We've got a Secret Schemes play to draw 4 cards. Got it ready on the only plots ready. The Iron Thrones put out. We've got a Lance put out to get rid of a power. Another Acolyte of the Wave. A Condemned to get rid of the power icon. And yeah, it feels here like this is a proper lock on. I'm not sure there's that much that a Sten can do now. So Sten has finished his challenges. We have an unopposed power challenge coming in, but obviously there's no claim. Military coming in, which will be unopposed, I guess. No, he's going to oppose that one. Take that one out. Lingering Villain gets a token. So we're going to be at 6. It's currently 6, but obviously Martel player wins Dom, so that's going to be 8 power after the pay to table takes 1. Kind of sitting at 8-5. I'd be shocked if March wasn't the next card. And we got marching orders into Valada Harris. That's interesting. Assuming then the one last other plot he just did not want to play. So going to the draw step. Sten has chosen to go first. Actually. Trying to think what he's looking for here to try and help him out. We've got an Asher. Not a bad start. But the issue here is that's not enough to be able to get through a power challenge to bounce any characters. These are pinch of poisons. Pinch of powder, sorry. Don't want to keep saying pinch of poison. And we have the Drango Fanatic. The Begging Brother brought into play, so that's going to probably stop Asher from standing. Can't quite see what Sten's outs are here, unfortunately. Oh, goes in for the military with Balon, gets bounced out of play by the Southern Messenger. Ouch. But now there could be a play here. So George is potential. I don't think. Say George not playing. Sorry, I don't think. I don't think you'd fall for it. But you'd say you do the power. I don't. Yeah. You do the power challenge here with Asher. I don't think Yanis would fall for it. Oh, he might do actually. Oh, there's no gold left. Ah, dang! I was gonna say you do the intrigue here, then you do the power challenge of Asher, jump in with the pinches of poison, but there's no gold left to jump them in. Pinch of powder, not pinch of poison. Does not defend the challenge, which is a sensible thing here because he needs one intrigue icon standing, so he can go and get a Balon out of hand. So you get one power for unopposed, one power for Lord of Crossing. The Begging Brother stops Asher from standing. And although we're sitting at 7-7, that's about to be a lot less as the Southern Messengers can come in and take Balon out of hand. There's nothing to do. He had to attack because he didn't have enough strength to defend it anyway. The power challenge is going to come in from the Acolyte of the Wave. So that's now going to be 10 power. It's going to be 12 after dominance. 12 after dominance. I think this game's almost over. And we've got Wildfire into March the Wall. So Wildfire here's going to kill the Acolyte of the Wave, getting it to 13 power. March the Wall, probably with the Drown God Fanatic, and I assume the Lancer. Oh no, the Southern Messenger. So my makes me think it's probably Flea Bottom coming out. Flea Bottom in play here. it even gets to dominance. I'm pretty sure. The Condemn goes Nash, of course. Yeah, even gets to dominance. I'm pretty sure it's not going to. Nini May Lord comes in to be a character, I assume. There's nothing actually to destroy. Still got 6 gold left. And Sten saying he's got this in concedes, which I think is probably fair. Right, so a quick look to see if we can get on to another, to see if we can catch the end of another game. Any other games going on? So we're sitting on here. So we've got George, we've got Paul Huso earlier, and the Martel player we saw last time, whose name I'm not going to try and pronounce again because now I almost butchered that. I might actually jump out of this, guys, because we might actually just start the final now, just to speed things up. So 1 second, I will be back in a minute. And here we are, guys, with the final of the of the tournament. And we have George versus Yanis. Obviously, we literally saw Yanis beats Sten. Two cards in shadows immediately. And we have the great. So the problem is I have no idea what to expect. And that is the problem when you see this combination. That's why we picked this for the first game. So we've got two Greyjoy reducers and Shireen with the Dornish fiefdoms. And against that we've got the Great Kraken, Rose Road, and are we going to see trading? Sorry, naval. We didn't see that. There was one plot we didn't see, and it was not okay. We're going to see exchange of information. So two cards in shadows. So we've got Orphan the Green Blood, Isle of Ravens, and On a Misty Morn, given for exchange of information. Video isn't live. What's going on here? I forgot to do that. I do apologise, guys. Forgot to get rid of the overlay. I'm very sorry. Fortunately, you haven't missed much, and my brilliant dulcet tones filled you in. So we have Green Blood Trader and a Bastard Door spread out. And then we have good econ here. So far we've got Rose Road, we've got the Summer Seaport, and an Isle of Ravens. So what George going to do is 10 gold. Obviously -1 because of the agenda. Okay, we have the Gates of the Moon. The agenda's now to put a card into shadows. Obviously that literally could be anything. Balon Greyjoy, and you imagine he's not going to be hanging around by himself. So you'd think there'd be another character come in, potentially one that can block the military coming in here. And indeed, there is. Although obviously they're not coming in to actually trigger their ability, just coming in to block the military. So now no gold left, so you won't be seeing any shenanigans with Pinch of Powder this turn. We have another copy of Gates of the Moon discarded for claim, which I doubt George is too disappointed about. We have a power challenge coming in which is undefended. So Isle of Raven shuffles in newly made Lord from the discard pile. Obviously that was from the pillage, from the military. And we have Balon coming in for power. So it looks like George is going on the power game. Potentially doesn't want to do military to lose a card from hand. And gets 3 cards drawn from the power challenge. Obviously is going to be discarding. And draws from the Great Kraken. It's going to be discarding a lot of cards there. That's an interesting call at this stage of the game. Dom goes to Yanis, and we're currently sitting at 3-2 in favour of George. And so George discards a milk, poison coin, rose road, and a pinch of powder. So that would make you think he's really at least got one, or he's decided it's probably not going to be very good pinch of powder targets in this game, so which potentially is the case, as we've already seen. This is a very low curve deck. George potentially knows that. George does a lot of deck building, so I'm sure he's aware of most of the good meta decks out there at the moment. And I think George is having a couple of connection issues here. And yep, he's just continuing to try and fix some issues. Let's spare Blood of the Dragon for Georgia. Yeah. Blood of the Dragon right now would pretty much would solve a lot of issues. So George sort of has his internet issues. Yeah, no kidding. Blood of the Dragon, and he'd be laughing. So we've got a building orders into Summer Harvest. And takes the iron frame with building orders. So obviously we saw in the last game this is very much based around trying to reset the board, wipe your opponent's hand, and play out the table and chair combo. And George is having some more connection issues by the looks of it. The fun of playing on the internet. So this goes while George sorts out some. Might have some slight technical issues, so let's see what George is saying. Okay, hopefully George now sorts out his internet issues, and I do apologise for the delay there. We might be resetting the game. Okay. Seems to be sorted. Do apologise, guys. Trying to. Okay, hopefully that's the last of it. So New Main Lord comes in, destroys. Destroys the Great Kraken, and We have a lingering venom put on Balon Greyjoy. Stop me if you've heard this before. And the Grey Crackers immediately played back out again. Card got to Salt from Shadows, and we got the Island Fishmonger. So to challenges, 4 gold left, so lots of shenanigans to potentially be had. Sorry about that. Discards Asher again. Something we've had this before. A military coming in for strength 1, which is opposed opposed by the Nightmare Marauders, which then obviously get a pillage, which currently will actually stick. Oh no, that's been shuffled back in already. So I do apologise. Give it then. Strength 1 from Power Challenge coming in, which I believe you probably block. Yes, he does. So we're going to tune these lingering venoms down here. I'm not sure they're not lingering venoms. These pincher powders. What are you pinching back into hand though? So power challenge comes in from Balon, which is going to go unopposed. What are you pinching back to hand? His aim Balon to get rid of the lingering venom. That would make sense. Draws a card because of Great Kraken. And then wins the challenge. Obviously, massive win for dominance here because of the Iron Throne. So good use there of a pinch of powder to get rid of negative attachments. Political disaster. So that really hurts Janusz right now. It goes down to just the summer Seaport and the Western Fiefdoms? No, Dornish Fiefdoms, sorry. And George is gets rid of his Rose Road, then gets rid of his Gates of the Moon, then brings out a Rose Road from Shadows for 0 gold, of course. I've got to say, obviously, it's 4 power to 3 power. Balon Greyjoy comes out. Gets marshalled out. Another card put into Shadows, I believe. Yep, using Salt from the Shadow. Another Dawn put into play. Obviously, nice. And also the Orphan of Green Blood brought out with 1 gold on. Now, of course, even though that's quite a big of a tempo hit. Oh, the Drangor Fanatic comes out to stop the Orphan of the Green Blood. Nice. Obviously, because obviously still got a much better board presence, that doesn't actually feel like too big an ask. That still feels like you can fall that tempo hit of putting Dawn out. We have no Shrimp put out, and then we have another copy of the Iron Throne put out. So even though the Political Disaster played this turn, it doesn't even look like George's board was particularly affected by it. Yanis's board was particularly affected by it. We basically looked like we were back where we were at the beginning, the end of last turn. So we've got a big challenge coming in here from Balon. Just going to draw him a card and gain some power. So we're now on to 6-3, but I mean, it seems a bit risky because obviously now Yanis can come back and discuss a Varus at random with from Intrigue Claim. And he's doing strength 1 military, so I thought he might do strength 3 military to actually try and kill someone. And he's going to let that go unopposed, kill the Island Fishmonger. So he's not worried about March, yeah? We're currently sitting at 7-5, going into the third pot phase, and we have Valor the House into Valor. So hoping here that there is a chooses for Valor the House. So that would make you. So he's chosen to save both of them. So that would make you think he's got saves in hand. So we have discards Old Bones because of the Bastard Daughter. You syringes to Nelt Balon. Just noticed how much of a bloody idiot I am. Good times. Okay. This is the final. Yes, this is the final, Martin. If he was going to lose the mill anyway, he should have triggered Vince to win the intrigue. Yeah. Classic info, I really don't. So yeah, I assumed you had saves. Yeah. So George didn't actually have any saves, huh? Calling concept stream public. Thanks, George. So George there chose to save. So as we said, we all assumed he had saves. So card good soul over mini Theon, and that is it with 2 gold left, and hopefully you can get a character out. George on autopilot there went, oh, I'm just going to save. I'm going to save Balon. That's what I want to do. New Maylord comes back. It comes out again to blow up the Great Kraken, and we have a Flea Blossom brought into play. Currently no targets for the Flea Blossom though. So assume Theon comes in now. Yeah, Theon does the military here. You assume to clear the board. Does not defend the challenge. And opposed power, and that is one dead Nime Lord. That's one character you definitely don't want to be pinching a pinch of powder back to hand. Not that Theon would be getting up to that kind of strength. So again, George must know something and not be worried about marched here. Valadar Harris into Bloody Flux. So George has chosen to go first. Going to say Theon obviously about Valadar Harris. Interesting that there was interesting choice to Valor at that point, with the board so wide. It seems to potentially hurt him a bit more than it's hurt George. I guess maybe he was thinking about the Valadar Harris coming. So George spent 1 gold and put another card into Shadows. Obviously got a Lancer coming out. Another Lancer coming out. Just slowing George down. So kind of 8-3 to Yanis. I have a Bastard Daughter and a Lord's Portrait right. And now Theon can't win the first challenge by himself because basically there's enough bods to come out and defend. So if Yanis wants to, he can defend that challenge. Still believe no targets for Flea Blossom. Indeed, there is not. So George is going to do the military. And yeah, I'm saying only going to defend with the Bastard Daughter. So you assume the Bastard Daughter is dying to take another card out of hand. Another card draw of Dawn, so the card advantage is really getting in favour of Yanis now. Power challenge, so that was Hagen's Daughter coming out of Shadows for a power challenge, which George is going to win. The issue here being he's got nothing to defend one coming back. And he's finished his challenges. I think this one might be going away from George at this point. So and then dominance goes to Yanis. Is getting very quick now, so 11-3. This is probably going to wrap up pretty quickly, I'd have thought at this point. So we've got Wildfire into Rise of the Kraken. Do you really want to go first? I guess so. So Raider from Pike and lots of cards into Shadows. Sure, I guess. The strength of these characters, though, even though these are pinch of power, they're not going to be doing much. And now we've got the Shadow City Bastard. Lots of bastards in this deck, isn't there? Shadow City Bastard used to blank Theon, so can't get the easy unopposed. Although I don't think he would be unopposed at the moment. She got the the Vanguard Lancers are doing a very good job. So military coming in from the Raider from Pike, which is going to give Yanis another power. You'd imagine. I would think he's going to be killing Kite of the Wave here. Getting up to 12, getting that, especially the chair out now. So the table and chair out. Yes, there we go. So 12 power, table and chair. So George isn't careful. This game is over at this point. We have an Island Fishman go out of shadows because, of course, why not? So you can do a 1 strength power challenge. So yes, yeah, you put Crest in there to fully defend that. But now the Shadow City Bastard comes out of shadows, doesn't... nope, okay. So George pass challenges. So we have an unopposed intrigue from there. Guess you don't even then need to do another challenge. Yep, that is a good game. And George has called it. And there we go, guys. That's the end of the tournament. Yanis has won. So that was the... I hope you guys enjoyed that nice little mini event. Let's bring up the final scores. So big thank you to everyone who came along and took part. So this is something hopefully we're doing a bit more regularly now. But there we go. So yeah, unfortunately, quite a nice little deck there from George. I thought I did quite like this using shadows. So not 100% sure exactly what the main advantage from it, but it's still quite funky seeing other houses doing it. I did wonder after a while you can just basically run a normal deck out of Assault from the Shadows if you really wanted to. But the next one's going to be on. We've got another one's coming on Saturday, the 1st of December. So do keep an eye out for that one. It's going to be an earlier start, hopefully, to attract 2 more people in and make it a bit of a bigger thing. And there we go. So that is that. And with that, guys, we will bid you farewell. And as always, it has been emotional.